What makes the homesteading that you practice and you promote different from someone else who's promoting homesteading?
When you say the word homesteading, you get very different reactions from people. And so you have a lot of people that are like, there is no homesteading act anymore. Nobody is homesteading. They have this very black and white like line in the sand. And I'm like, technically correct. There is not a homesteading act as we know of historically. That has ended even in Alaska. Nowhere in the US right now is there any homesteading acts. The principles of homesteading absolutely remain. So for me, the principle of homesteading is becoming more of a producer than a consumer. And I didn't actually coin that term. I've heard it mentioned or phrased in different ways for a number of years. So I don't know who to actually give credit to. There's those varying degrees. So start where you're at right now and apply that. So of course, for some, it would be like, yes, I want to produce absolutely every single thing that we consume, our home, our electricity by being off grid. You know, like you can really take it to the 9th degree. For most folks, it's going to be starting slow. Start in the kitchen. Even if you're in an apartment, everybody has a kitchen and everybody needs to eat. Maybe you can't grow any of your own food yet. Anybody can almost do a little bit of herbs in a windowsill, a sunny windowsill. So there's some degree there, but you're not going to be raising your own beef cattle yet. That's going to be very difficult, though. I'm sure someone out there has figured it out and is doing it. Look at what am I buying? Is it all pre-made? Or what do we eat on a really consistent basis that I'm buying from the store that's already been done for me? So bread, for example. Instead of buying the bread, can you take the basic ingredients, flour, salt, water, yeast if you're not doing sourdough, and make your own bread? Do that until it becomes a part of your really normal routine without even thinking. You've got it worked into your schedule. You know how to make it. It turns out great. And once that becomes that habit that you don't really even think about it anymore, go ahead and add the next thing in. So you're slowly producing more of what you're consuming instead of only bringing in things that are already done for you. And you can apply it to all different things. Learn how to make your own soap or a simple all-purpose cleaner. There's all different aspects that we can take it. Your skincare. The kitchen is where I like to start because it's so foundational and anybody can do some of the kitchen stuff, like no matter where you're at in life, and it can be applied immediately.
It's a simple start. It puts emphasis on you're in control of the ingredients. I imagine it also lowers your cost. Have you ever done the analysis of like how much someone can save by just making their own bread, for example, or some of their own food opposed to buying it already pre-made?
It's phenomenal, actually. Say even you're starting small and you're buying a 10-pound bag of flour. I buy flour by the 50-pound bag. So I'm trying to think back. It's been so long. Like, what is the smallest bag of flour you can buy? 5 or 10 pounds. I'm pretty sure you can get at the grocery store, right?
Where you start is 1 pound. And then when you get to Melissa's place, you're buying 50 pounds. You can like measure your advancement with something by how big of a bag you buy, right?
Right. I often will see people who are like, well, oh my gosh, like to cook from scratch, like it's so expensive. But if you're actually dividing it out by weight, it's not. In my personal experience, I have never had it be more expensive if I'm actually doing the calculation of ingredients by weight. Potato chips or something, right? That's actually very little weight. Or even soda pop. Like we'll have people say, oh my God, raw milk is so expensive. Yet they buy pop. Those are $2. And they're like, oh my gosh, but this gallon of raw milk is so much money. Well, if you were actually to do that volume comparison per dollar, it's really not. And then the health aspect of it greatly increases it. It might not be immediate. A lot of people are beginning to realize the cost of that cheap food. The cost it has to your health may not be immediate, but you will pay it down the road one way or another. So when you put those two together, it has always been cheaper, I have found, to make it from scratch.
I grapple with that a lot because some people will say, well, like, pluck seems so expensive. And I'm like, well, eat the organ meats. Just they will be cheaper because it's the freeze drying process that increases the price so much. Clearly, if they're coming to us, they're probably not doing that. But I'd rather have you get it in than not get it in. So you have to figure out what works for your lifestyle. But I find it really interesting because people will think it's so expensive. There was one point where you weren't paying $70 to $100 for a cell phone. And where did that money come from? And why is that so important? I think it works out to be like 25 cents a serving. Why is that expensive? But yet you're willing to pay some streaming service, $19.99 or $9.99 a month and pay for 5 of them. So this idea of like what value we put on things is really skewed. And I think people don't see the correlation of like, if you buy things that are not nutrient dense now, or you buy things that are really ultra processed now, you will pay it later. There's no situation where you don't pay it.
I think the problem is people don't attribute the health issues, and I'm talking in general senses, right? There's a lot of people that have realized that, and I'm one of them. But overall, in our general Western society, I don't know that people actually have the correlation that the health issues that they're suffering and that they're dealing with, one, that it's not normal. And two, that it is attributed to their food. I don't know that a lot of people have actually made that correlation. And I think oftentimes people don't even realize you shouldn't be feeling that way. That's not normal. You shouldn't always be inflamed. You shouldn't always be exhausted. But a lot of these things are a result of, yes, our food industry. Some of it is lifestyle. Like, there is a combination there. But if that's all you've ever known, they don't even know the difference. If you go to, a doctor and, I have high blood pressure, like they'll probably change you like, oh, you should try to change your diet. But there's so many things that people deal with, and diet's never discussed because doctors don't take nutrition. They do not go through nutritional training at all. They can't teach what they don't know. And there's some great doctors out there. So this is not a bashing our medical system overall, but there is a lot wrong with it. And people just don't realize the impact that the food that they eat has on their health and well-being.
If you enjoyed the clip from the podcast, make sure to check out the next video up here, or head over to watch the full episode down here. And before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Come on. Yeah, thanks for watching.